Yes, I see that.
Okay.
Everybody at this meeting reiterated.
So if somebody says something stupid, we cut it off.
See any new movement?
It's still gonna be on there. It's just gonna be a lag in between. If you bring your computer, or we can do here, we can mirror it up on the screen, up behind us, or put your logo up here during the show. Or if you want to show video clips up here, and it'll mirror onto the online here.
Okay.
We can talk about it. What's up there?
Okay.
A rare breed, top dog in a famous show. A little guy named Buddy Holly has won himself Best in Show. Buddy is a petite bason.
So, but you want to try to refrain from being over here looking at this. You want to be here looking at him and the owl.
Yeah, I won't worry about that once we're rolling.
Or bring one of these mics over here so y'all are conversing this direction without having to look there. Now, the audio is not coming out of the board though. Audio is coming out of the owl.
It's not coming out of these mics?
No, because I don't have my audio input through the board for the video. It is through the radio.
That's what I'm talking about, the radio.
The radio. The audio going to the streaming for Facebook Live and video. You can tell them we're giving a crash course.
Guarantee it's birthday calls.
I know. We're gonna have to. That's what I was telling you and Lonnie. We need to do something this week about that.
All right. WDXE. Hey, this is Jeff today. You got a birthday or two? No, he's not going to be here this morning. I'm going to be here this morning. Okay, who you got? Keith and Kevin Jennings. 42 Lawrenceburg. What was that first name again? Tidwell? Lawrenceburg? Okay. Thank you. How about?
That's not coffee.
No, I had coffee already. This is beer. So
Yeah.
no, it's a Canada Dry thing.
Okay. Because my audio cable is not connected yet to Facebook Live and YouTube, those are coming out of the owl.
Okay.
Radio is still coming out of the board. They're not connected yet.
Okay.
They will be next week. But for today, that's why we got to be.
So the audio for the streaming is coming out here. Audio for radio is coming out here.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not a horrible idea.
Where is the camera in here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I've got it right up my nose. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really not. If you see your video right there,
Okay.
That's your video. That's your camera. See, it's not really up your nose.
It's not too
Okay.
bad. So, I like where he is.
I ain't moving him.
Well, you want me to be there? Oh, okay. So, but okay, all right. Well, we may not talk for the whole hour. I may play a song and come back, whatever.
Well, that ain't gonna be what we're gonna do.
I know.
I'm just telling you.
I know. But you said we're kind of in a transition.
We are.
And we really didn't have anything planned other than winging it today. So.
Oh, we can talk about a lot.
So we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying because the music's got to go away.
Yeah, I know. Did you fix me a bumper music file?
Working on it, Jeff.
Okay. All right.
You may snap your fingers and think it's all happening, but there's no jumping around here. I got 5 million projects and.
I don't like you, Charlotte.
You say you didn't like her?
Yeah, most people don't.
I do. I do like her.
Yeah, she's good.
I like
She's
it.
good.
She put you in your place.
But most people don't.
It's a necessary evil.
He texts me. The website's. Do you know the website's down? Yeah, Jeff. I know the website's down.
Is it still down?
No.
Okay.
I spent 3 hours the other night up here investigating all the weaves of why is our website in 10 places. I did not build the website. in its current place. And I am trying to figure out why the current person that put it there did.
Interesting.
Sounds like a tangled web.
It is horrible.
I'm having to redo mine too. My site's not what I want.
I looked at your website to pull up that logo, and I'm like, why does your website look like this? Then the sheriff pulled up his website, and Maddie goes, there's my ex-husband from 5 years ago. And I told John, I said, you know, there's people that build websites, John. So Kip is going to do.
Pain in the butt.
Kip Capley is going to do Monday nights.
Okay.
Sheriff's doing Thursday nights. So you're free for this time slot.
Who'll be the rest of this week in like tomorrow and Friday?
Keith Durham's tomorrow.
Okay.
And Stan Prochowski's Friday.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Great.
You gonna hang around with us?
I have got so much to do. It's unbelievable.
All right. Well, this song's over. I'll hit the station ID, and then it's all me and you.
I thought you said Fox
By the
News.
way,
Is that already done?
It's already done. We talked through that. We need. You already know this. You already know this. You already know this. I'm saying this nice, but just to help you remember.
Okay, thank you.
Is the station ID's got to be changed.
What's it say?
Well, a lot of them refer to country music's legends and country music, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
So all that's got to be changed.
I've sent in liners already.
I figured.
Yeah, my liners did not include station IDs. Thank you. Kevin Kirkpatrick said he'd get to it.
Okay.
Everybody's going to get right to it.
Everybody's going to get right on it.
Everybody's going to get right to it.
They're going to get right on it.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, Charlotte.
Thank you, Miss Charlotte.
Keep him straight.
In Boston, good morning, I need a church key. Okay.
Tell Ben Boston you'll get right to it.
I'll get right on it.
Tell him to get right to it. Well, we're looking at all these chairs people stole and didn't take back. I'm sure.
No, this is Jeff. Yes.
They're stuck in town. Right to it.
Well, he is gone in another part of the studio. It's going to be me for a little while.
I don't know which one goes in here.
Okay. We'll call 6200 here after a while. He's probably in the studio mixing right now, but about 9 o'clock or a little after, call 6200 and you can talk to him. Oh. Well, I've got a guest in the studio. We're probably going to be talking for a little while, but I appreciate it, okay? Thank you. That's all right. These older folks ain't gonna like this change. I'll tell you that now. They want to be able to talk to Ron. Want to ask for these old songs. That lady was asking for Ronnie Allen's song, who used to be here. Now it'll help you probably if you put your headphones on.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's helpful.
From Lawrenceburg to Lexington, this is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
The Legend, that's us, WDXE, AM 1370, 105.3 FM, around the world at WDXE.com, and now live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And I have a good friend of mine in here, been friends now for, I don't know, a few years.
Many years.
Yeah, many years. Kevin Eidson. If you don't know Kevin Eidson, well, count your blessings, I guess. No, been a great friend. He and I are church friends, and he is married to a sweet, sweet lady that a lot of you know, Miss Brooke, and a pharmacist here in town. And you have a pharmacy background yourself, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, and Kevin, I don't know your official position with Lipscomb, but you've been with Lipscomb for how long?
I think it's
David Lipscomb.
going on 14, 15 years.
14 or 15 years. Now, what I don't know you've told me, but I'm one of the people that forgets things. So what's the position that you're in there?
Well, first of all, I want to say good morning, Lawrenceburg.
Yes.
Good morning, Lauraburg, as I call it, because Brooke's first name is Laura, so we've kind of changed Lawrenceburg to Lauraburg.
Lauraburg.
So she knows when
Belongs
I'm
to her.
getting close to town, it's Lauraburg.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yes, I do work at Lipscomb. I have been there for about 14 years. I have a faculty position or appointment in the College of Pharmacy.
Yes.
And I teach pharmacy law and ethics there. And
Pharmacy law. Okay.
I do. And we could talk a little bit more about my background if you want to and tell you how I got there.
Well, yeah, I will.
But my official position there is as I'm Director of Health and Wellness for the university and the academy.
Okay.
So Lipscomb has a pre-K through 12 academy, about 1,300 students there.
Okay.
And then we have the university side with several thousand students there.
Wow. I had no idea that they had the pre-K through 12. I knew about the college side.
Well, it's a really great academy. We've got a great football program. We had a little coach there, Trent Dilfer, who had left us to go to UAB. But we've got another great coach that came right in behind him, a former Titan, Kevin Mawawi, and he is a great man, a great man of God, and a great coach, great mentor for students.
Well, good deal. Well, how did you wind up being there? And as far as, where you're originally from and how did you get to be in that position?
Well, I'm originally from the White House, or we just might shorten it to White House.
White House, not the White House. Help us, Lord.
I am from White House, and I actually grew up there, went to MTSU to undergrad school, and got my undergraduate in pre-pharmacy there, and then went on to Mercer University in Atlanta. The main campus is in Macon, and it's a big Baptist school.
Yeah.
And was a pharmacy owner there for a while after pharmacy school.
Okay.
And then came back to Tennessee really right after 9/11.
Oh, okay.
And went to work for the State Department of Health and Bioterrorism.
Oh, wow.
So my job was to write plans to respond to disasters across the state and to test those plans and recruit volunteers to help us. And so we did a lot of that legwork in Tennessee. And Tennessee actually was a leading state in that, in bioterrorism.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the volunteers that we could recruit in Tennessee. We are the volunteer
That's
state.
right. Absolutely.
But then after that, I became director of pharmacy for the 95 county health departments in Tennessee. And each health department has pharmaceutical needs that they use, whether it be immunizations or if it was primary care in the day, then they would use those medications to dispense to folks that were in the clinics.
Wow.
And then I became the executive director of the Tennessee Board of Pharmacy, and that's kind of how the law piece came into what I teach at Lipscomb. But I was in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations of the Board of Pharmacy in the state.
That's probably pretty rich and deep.
It is a broad subject in the world of pharmacy that covers not only pharmacists, but it covers pharmacy technicians. They have to be registered. It covers medical researchers.
Yes.
Dog handlers. We even handled them because they had to have a license with us so they could get a DEA registration to train the dogs on sniffing out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Narcotics and things. And then we also had manufacturers, wholesalers, and distributors. So it was a huge.
That's a big department.
It was a huge undertaking.
Becoming a pharmacist. What does it take to become a pharmacist?
You know what? When I went to pharmacy school, I have a doctorate in pharmacy.
Okay.
And you could do a 2-year pre-pharmacy and then 4 years of pharmacy school, and that's a doctorate. And early 80s, we kind of started getting away from BS pharmacists, and we went to PharmDs.
Okay.
And that was an extra year of schooling. And there's so much more you can do in pharmacy. You can do residencies and fellowships and things like that, even beyond your doctorate, to specialize in focused areas, which would include, it could be cardiovascular, it could be infectious diseases, just to hone your skills and more focused on those areas.
Thinking about this, Kevin, if I start thinking about all the things that can go wrong with you and the pharmaceuticals that it could take to correct it, I'm a little overwhelmed with all of it, just to be honest.
Well, and that's why you really need to be friends with your pharmacist. It doesn't matter who they are or where they are, just you need to really need to know them, and they need to get to know you well.
I heard this years ago. This was years ago. And I don't know where or why I heard this. It was just maybe a random news clip or something like that about the pharmaceutical or pharmacist in general, saying that they were among the least likely to abuse drugs.
Well, we do have some impaired pharmacists, but we in the state of Tennessee have a great recovery network.
Yeah.
That we work, and they're located all over the state.
Yeah.
These individuals. And, it's not a sin to have a disease.
No, not at all.
But the sin is when you don't take care of the disease and take care of your body and the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
And pharmacists, we have a few pharmacists that do have an impairment. Most of the time, some of the time it's not drug related. It may be alcohol or something else.
Sure. Which is actually a drug too.
It is. And so we really encourage them to go through treatment, and we have a process for them to take care of that as a board. One of the things that I failed to mention to you is that Governor Haslam appointed me to the Board of Pharmacy as a board member, and I'm a past president of the Board of Pharmacy in Tennessee.
Okay.
And so those are matters that they would hear.
Sure.
And they would regulate, set discipline for those individuals. And it's usually, I've never looked at it as discipline for those individuals. It was a framework for success.
Yeah, corrective.
It was a framework for success for them to move forward and to have success in their sobriety. Wow,
interesting. Now, on a daily basis, you're involved with David Lipscomb, obviously. So, what are your days like at this point?
Well,
and of course, I know a little bit about your home life because you have a little boy, Graham, who's as sweet as he can be.
Graham loves everybody. Graham knows everybody in Lawrenceburg.
He does.
He is the sweetest soul, and I'd like to say he gets that from me, but it's actually his mother.
Well, we
would
know better. We would know better.
His mother is the sweetest soul. At Lipscomb, it's a pretty big enterprise.
Yes, it is.
Lipscomb. And I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what's going on there. This past Saturday was graduation. We had 2 commencements on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
About 1,000 students graduated.
Okay.
This was our largest class, entry class it was a record class.
Wow.
New student class, and it was probably our most diverse class. We had over 30% of our students who were from racially and ethnically background.
Yeah.
And that was just really exciting. We have various programs at Lipscomb. I'll just highlight a few, but we have a pharmacy program, a PharmD program. It was one of the first doctoral programs, or the first doctoral program at Lipscomb.
Right.
And we have a lot of doctoral programs now. We had 65 students graduate. I want to focus. I'm like a rabbit, chasing a rabbit sometimes.
That's okay.
But
I do that all the time.
But we have a lot of pharmacists in Lawrenceburg in this area, in your view, network,
listing area.
Yeah, that are graduates of Lipscomb University.
Oh,
I can
really?
think of a dozen right off
Really?
the top of my head.
Wow, okay.
And they're great pharmacists. Anyway, so in December, we have a PA graduation, a Physician Assistant Studies, and,
Yes.
and they're an accredited program. That is a super program in our health sciences. We just graduated our first master's level cardiovascular perfusion program, and that's one of only 18 degree programs in the country.
Yeah.
So and you want to know what a cardiovascular perfusion person does, I bet.
Well,
they're very specialized.
What do they do?
Well, they're the folks when you're having surgery and you have heart surgery, and they're the ones that put you on that heart bypass machine.
Oh, wow.
You want to be really nice to those
I would
folks
say so.
because one button could make a big difference. You know, I would
so.
imagine on that.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Lipscomb continues to lead as a top-tier, nationally recognized institution.
Okay.
Forbes ranked Lipscomb as #2 private research university. We have a lot of research. We have a pharmaceutical research building there, and one of my great friends runs that, and it is there's all kinds of research, drug research going on there.
Wow.
And we have a College of Business that's ranked 7th. Well, actually, it's the top undergraduate business college in the state.
Wow.
And
A lot of things I really didn't know, honestly.
yeah, I mean, it's just a lot going on. We just received our largest grant in our College of Education for training teachers across the country in counseling.
Yeah.
You know, the world needs that specialty, especially with all that's going on. We've just created a new health sciences center where the College of Pharmacy is under that center, but the college is separate. We have exercise and nutrition and kinesiology going on. Just Lipscomb is
Gosh,
the
it's just
greatest
everywhere.
place.
All that stuff. Well, let me ask you something else. Just because it kind of you're talking about chasing a rabbit, this went through my brain. With your experience and background, in the news in recent months, and I guess even beyond, the fentanyl thing is huge.
It is.
And I'm trying to get my head around, how and why that this is the problem that it is. Do you have some insight on that a little bit, as far as, or some opinion maybe?
Yeah.
On why that is what it is, and it sounds so dangerous. It's so crazy dangerous, and I guess one of the things questions I would have is how do we trust our pharmaceuticals with that kind of infiltration?
Well, those pharmaceuticals that you buy from a reputable manufacturer,
Yes.
From a pharmacy, are going to be safe.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, those pharmaceuticals that you buy from the street pharmacist may not be as pure.
Well, that's where people get in so much trouble and so much danger.
And we call that adulterated
Yeah.
in the world of pharmacy, or legally.
Yeah.
But that it's scary, and let me tell you how scary it is. Fentanyl is so potent. You dispense that in micrograms, which is a little bitty speck.
Yes.
As a dose. A milligram, something probably the size of a grain of salt,
Okay.
could be a lethal dose.
Really?
And so that's the scary part of that. And so it's easy to add that to medications that you make in a bathtub, or
That's
you
a
make
scary thought.
on a kitchen sink, or wherever it may be. So it really is scary. And I think how we protect ourselves is that we have to educate our kids.
Sure.
It starts with their families, and educating kids: don't take anything that's not
Oh my
prescribed for you.
goodness, yeah.
Don't I'm so leery of Graham picking up a piece of money or a piece of change or anything off the ground, because if it were to have a speck of that fentanyl on it and he put it in his mouth, it could be a lethal dose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the government has understood that it's a tremendous problem. Narcan is a nasal spray. It's naloxone. It's over the counter now. They've made reversing agents over the counter so that you and I could go in and buy it, carry it on us if we see somebody that's potentially overdosed, then
Yes.
we could give them that and
Well, let's
hopefully-
elaborate on that a little bit because I'm not familiar with that much. What are you talking about there?
Well, there is some reversing agents that knocks the opioid off of that opioid receptor
Okay.
and in the body.
Okay.
I'm going to have to give you a little bit of a lesson in pharmacology and biology.
Don't
but that's
hurt.
okay.
Don't hurt my brain here. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, but it does knock that opioid off of that receptor, and we are able to reverse those. And it could be a temporary reversal. I mean, it won't last long. That's why it's important to get these individuals to immediate emergency medical help. Get them to the hospital so that they can continuously monitor that.
Right.
This is only for a short duration so that they don't go into complete respiratory suppression, depression,
Right.
and pass away.
Wow. Very scary. Very scary.
It is scary.
All right. Well, I want to lighten it up with us sooner or later. Okay. Let me take a quick little break and do a station ID. I'm going to check the weather for us here, and we'll be right back with Kevin Dickson and a little more. We'll see what's going on around the county too.
From Lowe to Rogersville, this is the legend. 105.3, 95.3 WDXE.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, I'm Fred Gossage. We'll check out your Wednesday forecast. Partly sunny today with scattered showers and thunderstorms possible, especially midday and afternoon. Daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s, but a few folks south of the Tennessee line might make a run briefly at 90 degrees this afternoon. Going into tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms possible in the evening. Partly cloudy during the overnight, lower 60s during overnight lows. Upper 70s
WDXE.
to lower 80s for Thursday with a mix of sunny clouds and scattered showers. And
Who is it?
We warm toward the low to mid 80s as we hit Friday into Saturday.
What's the last name?
Scattered showers and thunderstorms each day, otherwise partly sunny. And then towards Sunday, mid to upper 80s ahead of
From Lawrenceburg?
Showers and thunderstorms starting to become light
5
for
points.
Sunday, maybe some local heavy rain.
All right. Thank you.
And then that front drops us back to the upper 70s as we hit early next week. All the latest weather at tnvalleyweather.com.
All right. That's weather forecast. I wasn't paying any attention. What did he say? How's it looking?
I don't know.
I was going to check the weather on my phone here too while I'm talking. Partly cloudy, 70 degrees. And was it raining when you came in, by the way? Wasn't raining much? Well, you know, we see each other at church. We see each other at the ballpark. And that's where I think I saw you last, was at the ballpark. How this came about, I asked you to come by and just visit with us. And I'm glad you did. Glad you did this morning. Speaking of the ballpark, now Graham's playing ball, isn't he?
Graham does play T-ball.
T-ball?
He's out there.
He's out there. They're so fun to watch.
They are fun.
They're fun to watch. And of course, Daniel's gotten a little more serious. Then there's Shepard, my grandson played, and all that stuff. So we're at the ballpark a lot.
We are at the ballpark a lot. And we go up and we try to see. I didn't tell folks where they could find Brooke.
Yeah. We'll do that.
But Richard Jennings, his son, is up at Abigail's Field playing on
Yes.
tonight. So we try to go support Stephen.
That's a great facility up there. And Stephen, of course, Jennings. And Richard Jennings down at Hollis. Now, Brooke's helping down there, isn't she?
Brooke is down at Jennings, and she's at Frisbee's, and she is just a true. She's a great pharmacist.
Well, I visit both places.
Well, that's good.
I do. I visit both places, so I see her at both of them. So there you go.
In fact, she's at Holland's today.
Holland's today. Well, good deal. Well, you know, Mother's Day's coming up.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Are you and Graham going to take care of business there?
We are. We're going to. We usually plan something special, and we'll do that. And we're going to. Brooke's favorite place on earth, I think, is Disney. So we're going to go there in a few weeks and spend some time.
You know, I've never been.
Oh, you're missing out. Now, Brooke needs to really talk to you. And
she likes the Disney, huh?
We go a couple of times a year, maybe, at least once. But
Teresa and I were talking yesterday evening that we need, at least I said, we need to take some kind of a vacation. We rarely take vacations, which is bad. I should take more vacation. I should take more time off than I do.
We're actually going to go spend a few days at the beach before going to Disney with Brooke's mom and Susan and David.
Yeah.
And I've got to mention Mama Ruth.
You got to mention Mama Ruth. And listen, by the way, I'll plug Mama Ruth's bread. If you're a visitor at New Prospect Baptist Church, it's worth coming just one time to get some Mama Ruth bread, if nothing else, because that's what you get. You get a little visitor's pack, and you get some Mama Ruth bread.
Absolutely, and if you like it so well, she'll sell you some, and she'll give it all to missions.
That's right. That's right. Well, we take some home every once in a while, and of course, Teresa's daddy, who lives with us in 92 now, he always gets a thrill out of getting those cinnamon rolls.
Well, you know, Mama Ruth's working on 92, and she's still baking bread and driving and doing all the things that, you know, a 92-year-old should be doing.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, you landed well here in Lawrenceburg.
You know, I would not have known anything about Lawrenceburg had it not been for Brooke, and it's probably been one of the greatest blessings of my life, being in this community.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a sweet spot in the world. I say it a lot. We live in a really good little community. It's a growing, thriving community right now, as of course Middle Tennessee is exploding anyway. But we can, you know, we're not that far from Nashville and things we do up there, and
I drive it every day.
Not far from Huntsville if you want to go that direction, but yet you can come home to a little quieter community.
Absolutely, I drive it every day, and it's worth every mile of it. And you know, I get to think a lot going to work, and I get to think a lot and unwind coming home from work, which makes it really well, because I don't have to do that when I get home.
Yeah, well, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see. Phone's ringing. I don't know. Some people are probably calling for birthday club, but let's see who's on the phone. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Hey, buddy.
I just wanted to give y'all a shout out and let you know that blessed and privileged.
Well, amen, brother. Thank you. This is Brother Randy.
Well, you have a great day, Mr.
Hey,
Randy.
man,
We love you.
Thank you. Love you, buddy. Good deal. Good deal. Now, if you don't know Randy, he belongs to Miss Betty, where I get my verse of the day every time.
They are a great family.
Yes.
They are some of the sweetest people I know.
Us too. Teresa and Miss Betty are great friends, and of course I'm friends with Randy and all of them. Love them to death. 70 degrees outside. It is 8:36, and I'm here visiting with Kevin Eadson. And Kevin and I gotten to be pretty close over the last few years.
I just thought of one more thing about Lipscomb that I really need to tell you about.
Okay.
We have a College of Entertainment and Arts, and it's
now there's where I need to go.
Well, I'm thinking about Daniel.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
It's ranked among the top in the country, and we've got a couple of guys that do some things for Disney.
Really?
And have done some animations for Disney.
Oh, you're kidding.
The Bancroft brothers. They've worked on films to include Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King and Aladdin and Pocahontas and Mulan. And
well, Daniel would
Brother
be
Bear.
out of his mind. Daniel would be out of his mind to know that.
And they're amazing. And, you know, it used to be done on paper and pencil or whatever, but now it's all done
it's all done on screen. Yeah.
Electronically, and it is the coolest program.
Daniel's doing it. I can show you. You wouldn't believe it, but he ordered his own stylus the other day because he's got a little pad that he can draw on, and he just got it in like yesterday or the day before, and he was so thrilled. He said it's working fantastic, and he was showing me what he's doing, and he's wanting to get into animation and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
Well, it is really neat, and we had the privilege of Brooke and I of watching them do a little thing at an event we were at, and it's amazing. I just think, you know, I had to make that plug because we're going to start working on Daniel now.
Okay, well, good.
To come to
We're going to work him into the program. Well, speaking of that, that leads me to this because I was going to ask you about this. Just in general topics for me and you to talk about, that animation, of course, is technology driven, high-end technology at that. Well, now we've got what's called AI, and everybody's in a big buzz over AI. Have you given that any thought, or have you thought about its impact? And
I've actually played around with AI a bit, and it's a little bit scary.
It is scary. I'm telling you, it's scary.
It can write, you know, and it makes it really hard for higher education institutions to manage that, because you've got plagiarism and things like that you have to look at. We've got some technology that we can run writings and things through to see.
You know, a lazy student like me that's got just enough sense to use some buttons, you know, I could cheat my way all the way through college.
Well, you can. It doesn't work well with multiple choice questions, though,
okay,
on an exam, but
you got to know something.
Or fill in the blank questions, but those essay questions, you know, it could come in helpful.
Yeah.
But I think it is it's a significant thing in higher education that we're looking at to make sure that it doesn't take control of what true learning is.
Well, for those of you that may not have even thought about it or know what we're talking about, I mean, it's so broad and can touch almost anything and everything. But what little bit I've fooled with it, there's a website somewhere, I forget what it's called. There's probably more than one now, but I found one where you could give it some criteria, and I did this. I said, I want you to write me a radio commercial about this, that, and I just kind of put in some stuff, and it wrote several commercials for me that were so close that I could have used any one of them.
Right.
I mean, and it's like you just tell it what you want, and it'll spit it out.
It's a really, really scary, and it's pretty accurate on everything. I mean,
you can say, write me a 12-page novel on, or a 12-page story on, you know, about, you know, coon hunting, and all of a sudden you've got it.
And well, I mean, you could probably put in there, give me the history of WDXE radio.
History of WDXE, and it'll spit that out.
It will outline it for you, and
yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then there's the idea that, and I'm having a hard time swallowing this, of some kind of consciousness of AI.
Right.
Meaning that it thinks for itself and can actually, you know, do this futuristic thing, and like we've seen science fiction movies such as Terminator and all that, where the machines take over, or The Matrix, or some of that stuff, which is
a little far-fetched.
But it's spooky.
It is. we have a job in higher education trying to manage that among many things.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, no doubt. But now I feel a little better though, because I heard that they were going to put somebody in government in charge of watching over AI and regulating AI. And I think that the AI guru is going to be Kamala Harris, our vice president. That's what I heard. Have you heard that?
Well, I'm not surprised. I have not heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised of most anything.
And AI stands for like artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. And
which kind of gives that a new meaning to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the greatest description of it.
I got a spam risk call. Should I take it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, well, never mind. There was a call coming in. I just now saw it. Anyway.
Absolutely. So tell me, what's happening in Lauraburg?
Well, you know, I was mentioning it earlier. We've all been watching the Amish lane come through, and the construction that's going on north of Lawrenceburg there, the Amish lane. One thing that, and I'm saying this in somewhat seriously. You and I joked about us having more Amish lanes. We need more.
Yeah.
You and I kind of joked about that. But I will say this, Buffalo Road needs to be widened and expanded.
They seem to have quite a few accidents over there, especially involving the
Amish. We were talking about
Amish
that.
Neighbors are struggling a bit. I'm a little confused. I pass by this new Amish lane north of town every day, and I'm a little confused of how that's going to work. We've got one coming into town. They don't have one going out. I'm assuming they're going to build that.
I don't think so.
So we're just gonna have one where they travel down.
Is that, I think that's, now my understanding is, and somebody may correct me and tell me different, but my understanding is they're gonna go both ways on that lane.
I got you.
And there's gonna be a crossing up there at Good Hope Road, north of town. There's gonna be, and I understand there's gonna be a light, a signal there.
Okay.
And then all the Amish are supposed to be on that new lane, going and coming, and then there'll be another crossing up near Walmart where they can cross back. That's my understanding. I could be wrong.
Well, it sounds kind of like that the new express lanes that the governor just approved for Nashville. So I guess we're going to get one of those for the Amish. It's a
Amish express lane.
Express lane. Can we just call it that?
I guess so. I heard a funny thing about the Kentucky Derby.
What's that?
It's it's Amish NASCAR.
Okay. I'm not going to touch that, but yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and the other thing that I don't understand, the speed limit through there used to be 45. They've covered the signs up. What's the speed limit through there?
You have to guess.
Okay. Well, I see some folks that don't guess well because I see them pulled over with my friend.
Do they have them covered?
The signs are covered up at the speed limit side. And
well, just go slower.
Yeah.
Just go slower. Have you had a ticket lately?
I get stopped occasionally. It's usually the same guy, and he's pretty generous.
You getting stopped by the same guy?
I have got to see some of our church folk down at the courthouse before that work in there.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't had a ticket in a long time. I try to be pretty conscious of the speed limit, but now in earlier days of my life, I had several.
Well, I drive a farm truck, and it just kind of has a mind of its own, so I do whatever it tells me.
Let's see who's on the phone. Hey, good morning. How are you? Good. Hey. The speed limit is what? 30 miles. It's 30 miles an hour through the construction zone there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that helps us. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Speed limit is 30. So that's good to know. So if you want to push the limit, you're running the risk of getting a ticket.
Over 30. Well, that's good to know because sometimes it's a guess for me because I have no idea.
I had a friend of mine. I was telling him, he had asked me about us moving out west of town. Of course, we live out in Deerfield now on Greenwood Road out there, and I had just measured. You know how you set your odometer and check the mileage. I had just done it. I left the Quick Mart there at West Point Road in the golf club, and I zeroed it, and I said, I'm going to see how far it is from here to my house. Well, it was almost exactly 9 miles from that store to my driveway. And so I had just clocked it, and some friend of mine asked me how far we lived out, and I said, well, I just clocked it. I live exactly 9 miles from that store to my driveway. He said, oh, so about 5 minutes in.
Well, that's true. I got to tell you a little funny story. It was a little sad story, but Brooke, we have a golf cart, and we drive the golf cart around a lot. It's street legal. I've got tags and insurance on it. And so we were out night before last driving. Graham loves to go for a ride in the golf cart, and we got out on First Street. No, Second Street, and we had a meltdown on the battery. Just the post, it had a shortage, and it smoked and quit running. So Brooke and I were thinking, now what are we going to do? All the trailers were in White House, and I didn't have a way to get it home. So you know what? I got AAA out. I called AAA.
Really?
So I called. They sent South End Towing down, and they picked me up. They were there within like 10 or 15 minutes. It was really quick. And the guy was laughing. He said, I've never done this before. I towed a golf cart.
There you go.
So we got it towed home, and, that's just the kind of community we have.
Yeah, that's good. They're good folks down there, too. I've had them, they had to come get me out of a pickle once. I was bush hogging with a little tractor. And and I was crossing a little ditch there, a little swell ditch place, and I bellied it, and could not move. Well, I thought, well, I'll just pull it. I got my truck. I think I had a friend in the truck, and he had 4-wheel drive. He couldn't pull me out. It was it was sitting in such a way on the ground that it would not budge. And I had to call them guys. Well, the guy from South End came with his truck, and he had his truck and winch, and he anchored down and hooked up and pulled me out. But he did say this. He said, man, he said, I had to ramp it up pretty good. He said, that thing was stuck. He said, you'd have never got that out with a vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, with a truck. So
they are great. So we try to go for a golf cart ride every evening, or most every evening. And so last night we had to get we have a 1987 Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
And so we got it out last night and drove around in it and had a good time.
Suzuki Samurai. Well, it's good. It's good. Life is good. We live in a good spot and a good community. And I thank you for coming in this morning, buddy.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
I'm going to invite you back.
This has been a lot of fun.
We'll invite you back and come again sometime where we can gab some more.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna turn us loose and set the station back in order. And Kevin Eadson, and go by and see Brooke today and tell him you heard Kevin and he behaved pretty well.
Absolutely.
It'll be all right.
I need a plug.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Let me get this going right here.
Is now offering a 9-month certificate of deposit with a new fixed interest rate of 5.25% and annual percentage yield of 5.35%. There is a minimum opening deposit of $1,000. Annual percentage yield assumes principal and interest remain on deposit for the term of the certificate.
There. I think I'm done there.
We done? How was that?
That was good. There's nothing wrong with that.
We didn't get too off the rail, did we?
Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm going to turn us off on this.